So it's been 1 month since the launch of Infinite Warfare, and I've got to tell you, I'm starting to change my tune regarding my opinion of the game. Maybe it's because I'm playing too much Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 to put up with the bullshit in Call of Duty, but I also think that there's an elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. Infinity Ward is killing Infinite Warfare. They obviously care about the game, but they're so fucking inept that even when they do patch things, they can't even do the patch notes correctly. Seriously, there are so many duplicate bullet points in the patch notes that they either don't try to proofread or they're being sneaky and try to make it seem as though they did more work. Not to mention, the only things that are in the patch are just minor bug fixes. There are 7 bullet points dedicated to bugs with split screeners. Seriously, you're fixing the game for people that haven't even bought the fucking game and are just leeching it off their friend or relative, but actual issues like connection algorithms just get ignored? Normally, I just make a patch parody about this and make Infinity Ward apply ice to that burn, but the patch is devoid of any meaningful fixes. Sure, there's the generic, we can't program a counter to work correctly for challenge fixes, but there's nothing really to make fun of in here. Speaking of counters, they still fix problems like joining match in progress and losing would end your win streak, yet there's still no leaderboard or combat record to speak of, such that this stat even fucking matters. Who gives a shit if your win streak gets extended if you can't even tell you're on one? Many people are putting on their conspiracy theory tinfoil hat and explaining why leaderboards are coming soon is due to the fact that Infinity Ward, or more likely, Activision wants them done in such a way that it obfuscates the amount, or lack of amount, of people that are actually playing the game. You can't hide the truth from everyone, as sales figures for the first week have come out, and Infinite Warfare sold half of what Black Ops 3 did, the worst selling Call of Duty, except for COD 4 and World at War, which is before Call of Duty had a massive following. Also, throw into the coming soon black hole more weapons for Infected and getting both Genesis and Grounded maps back into the rotation after being removed because of map exploits. However, they did throw us a bone and put the Reinforced game mode as a timed event in. Seriously, if I wanted to play Insurgency, I'd just go fucking play it. In a stream last week, they said that they were putting a game mode into rotation the following week, which would then be this week for those of you that are paying attention, that classic Call of Duty fans would enjoy. Classic? I almost forgot this game mode actually made it into Ghost at some point during its life cycle because there are so many stupid fucking game modes in that shit show that I try and block it out of my memory completely. Most people thought that this meant a boots on the ground mode, and if that's the case, it's also in the coming soon black hole. Other than the aforementioned map exploit fixes, the only decent changes in this patch are a nerf to Ghost against an advanced UAV, which is still underpowered for its point score, make it a constant, not sweeping motion on the minimap, and an error fix for the Lootween error, which, by the way, people are still fucking getting, so it's more of a, hey, we tried this thing, and if it works, let us know. Many people are speculating that the reason why that there aren't more dramatic changes in the patch is that there's a Call of Duty World League event this weekend, and the devs don't want to screw up the competitive meta by introducing too many alterations to the game. Are you fucking kidding me? Why is the pub side of the game being held hostage by the competitive scene? They're almost two completely different games in terms of rule set and viability. Secondly, Infinite Warfare doesn't even have a ranked playlist where players can even play competitively. This feature was missing from Ghost, and it's still not in Infinite Warfare, despite the fact that it was in the last 2 Call of Duty games. This is why I'm claiming that the current iteration of Infinity Ward has no idea what the fuck they're doing. Other games have done this better. Instead of being fearful of changing the game, developers should have a test bed with actual players in it such that they can try out the tweaks. In Overwatch, there's a PTR server where players can try out potential fixes in an upcoming patch before it goes live and give feedback based on results. And in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline, there was a community test environment that accomplished the same thing. Maybe if Call of Duty devs had a live environment to push out patches to try out before they're available to all, then we wouldn't get bugs like not having XP count after a patch. Yes, you heard that right. Even though there was nothing of significance in this patch, it completely broke the game by not having any XP count towards your leveling. How does something this egregious filbin get past quality control? Well, if they had more tools, then this wouldn't be an issue. But of course, since Activision is spelled with a $, COD points are much more important than spending resources on tools. Now that we've seen the lack of support of Infinite Warfare compared with the plethora of improvements and bug fixes from Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 developers, it really sours my opinion opinion of the game. I thought the bad connection issues, lag comp algorithms, shoot first, die first would be things that would get ironed out over the course of the game's life cycle. It happens with every Call of Duty game that the first couple of weeks are usually horrifically inconsistent in terms of the infrastructure, but then data is gathered and things are changed. Not so much with this game. The majority of my gunfights are a complete coin flip without regard to who shoots first and who gets more bullets on target. Gotta give kudos to Infinity Ward for really good hit detection, but when every single gun kills in 4 bullets, there are times when, due to the lag compensation algorithm, my shots don't even seem to hit because the server has already registered that I'm dead before it happens on my screen. Not to mention, it's almost impossible to tell when others are lagging, given that the margin of error for a 4-bar is 120 millisecond ping, and I rarely see anything other than a 4-bar, even on kill cams that skip more than a Milli Vanilli performance. Not to mention, I still at times will get host on a peer-to-peer connection, even though I live in the most populated area for playing this game. It's completely unacceptable. Going a step further, I'm always on a moderate NAT type in this game, and I have no idea why. In every other single Call of Duty game, I've always had an open NAT. Even with my router hardwired to my Xbox One having an open NAT, port forwarding, doing the hokey pokey and turning myself around, and following all the instructions that Activision support on Twitter gave me, still moderate. This leads me to believe it's a software issue, especially given the history with always having an open NAT type for me. I'm assuming that tons of other people are also experiencing this issue, which directly affects things like matchmaking and connectivity, leading to a worse experience for all. I mean, hell, I have a master's degree in computer science, and if I can't figure it out, your average Timmy No-Thumbs Call of Duty player isn't going to be able to either. I just can't recommend this game right now, given the obvious connection and compensation issues in the game, along with the horror-bad over-designed maps. For fuck's sake, 2 of the 3 best maps in the game are reskins of older maps, Genesis and Terminal, along with Mayday. Most of the other maps are just mediocre with entire chunks of the map that never get any foot traffic, or are so convoluted that even an escape artist is saying, nah, fuck that shit. I appreciate the lack of symmetrical head glitch havens, but too often I'm running around checking 15 corners, which is odd given that most rooms only have 4 walls, or on giant ass maps I'm taking 30 seconds to run back to the same tiny area that everyone else always runs towards. Since every weapon kills in 4 shots other than the FHR-40 with 5, the weapons seem balanced till you realize how often you're getting killed by an NV4 or KBAR-32 because they have a better 4-shot range than other weapons and SMGs still lose up close to them. Bottom line, this game has lots of potential, but Infinity Ward is killing the game with their ineptitude. When the stars align and the compensation gods are smiling down on me, the game is actually really enjoyable, but far too often I'm left feeling frustrated at unfair deaths or getting cheesed by annoying ass setups with lethal grenades that can destroy entire cities. What about you guys? I've been the Swans27, out like Gerard Gallant. Until next time.